Hello, hello, hello. Everyone, welcome to another live stream. I hope you're all doing well. Namaste, आइए बहुत टाइम के बाद हम मिल रहे हैं. How you all doing? Let's start. Who all are here? Kapish Sharma, hi. Daniel Ansari, welcome back. Brothers Photography, Sankit, Maxi, आइए, welcome. Today is a back to basic stream, but it's with a twist. तो आज कुछ interesting बातें करेंगे. Hello, study purpose. Chinmay M, take my name, sir. Hi, Chinmay. How are you? How is it going? So, November is going on, and I recently released a video on masturbation, and it has received some very क्या बोलते हैं controversial comments. ठीक है? So I realized that this is a topic that deserves to be discussed a little better. So I thought, why not? Today is the day. We have 1 hour. The stream ends at 9 o'clock. All right. So till 9, anything that you want to discuss, we will. Gaurav Kadam has written a comment that deserves to be pinned because I like it. It's going strong, but it's hard, no pun intended. Very nice. Very nice, Gaurav. Full claps. आर्यन इज लाइक कॉन्ट्रोवर्शियल अभी डिलीट करके आता हूँ. आर्यन डिलीट मत करना प्लीज. कंट्रोवर्सी को डिलीट मत करना. कंट्रोवर्सी में ही मजा आता है. कंट्रोवर्सी में ही कुछ सीखने मिलता है. ठीक है. जहां पे भी कंट्रोवर्सी हो उसका मतलब है कि या तो आपने कुछ नहीं सीखा है या उन्होंने कुछ तो नहीं सीखा है. ठीक है. तो देयर इज ऑलवेज अ डिस्कनेक्ट इन कंट्रोवर्सी. तो हम उसको डिलीट नहीं करेंगे. आई डोंट केयर अबाउट माई बर्थडे. वाई शुड आई वरी अबाउट नो नॉट नवंबर. राजर्षि परमार. रिस्पेक्ट मैन, रिस्पेक्ट. थोड़ी देर इंस्टा देखने का मन हो जाता है. देख लेता हूँ तो डे 1. आउच. हाय क्लेमोर, वेलकम. I think I'm addicted. Sid, what's up? How are you doing? I'm doing very well, Devesh. Thank you so much. Marcon Naples, what's up, doc? Hi, Marcon. Everything is going very well. नहीं डिलीट नहीं कर रहा है. सागर शाह की कमेंट्री सुनी थी. कंट्रोवर्सी होनी चाहिए. बिल्कुल कंट्रोवर्सी होनी चाहिए. लाइफ में कंट्रोवर्सी होनी चाहिए. लाइफ में कॉन्फ्लिक्ट होनी चाहिए. हम कॉन्फ्लिक्ट को हटाने के कोशिश में लाइफ का जो मज़ा है वही खो जाते हैं. ठीक है. कॉन्फ्लिक्ट में ही मज़ा है. द ओनली रीज़न दैट पीपल आर अफ्रेड ऑफ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट इज बिकॉज इट ट्रिगर्स एंग्जाइटी. वो ट्रिगर होता है, थ्रेट होता है. बट अगर आपने एंग्जाइटी को हटा दिया, थ्रेट को हटा दिया, तो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट में ही मज़ा है. बिकॉज कॉन्फ्लिक्ट में ही सीखने मिलता है. सो आई एम अ बिग फैन. Loved your podcast on Chalchitra Talks. Thank you, Devesh. There are 2 talks on Chalchitra. Rajashri Parmar saying true. No nut November should be Nutvember. Nutvember. So, the controversy started when? ये नो नट नवंबर का कॉन्सेप्ट आया क्यों? तो नवंबर का कोई ऐसा खास बात है नहीं. ठीक है. इट्स जस्ट अबाउट कि कैन यू पुट, वो तो एलिट्रेशन पे है. नो नॉट नवंबर, NNN. चलो बोलने में मज़ा आता है, करने में मज़ा आता है. तो द कंट्रोवर्सी स्टार्ट्स व्हेन द नो फैब मूवमेंट स्टार्ट्स. ठीक है. सो देयर इज दिस होल रेडिट थ्रेड ऑन नो फैब, एंड दैट्स वेयर इट ऑल बिगैन. The whole nofap concept says that if you masturbate, you lose energy. You lose precious body fluid, and because of that, you will be weak. You will not be able to function well. Whereas if you don't masturbate, and if you keep all that semen in your own body, that energy will get absorbed and you will become a Superman. Now there are different stories around this. ठीक है. So there are, just like any other belief system, एक spectrum होता है where some people are on the mellower side of the spectrum where they say कि नहीं, it's just about getting over some addiction and learning self-control. On the other extreme, people believe that a drop of semen has the power to change the universe. Okay, and if you absorb that, it's like a nuclear bomb going in your body. So there's a full spectrum of belief systems, which is absolutely fine. जिसको जो believe करना है वो believe कर सकता है. Like that's how society functions. None of us are here to tell anybody else what to believe, what not to believe. This is especially true when they believe in something that is helping them. Okay, now this is another big realization that all of us should have. When somebody is doing something and it is helping them and it's not harming them and it's not harming anyone else, do it. Believe that. It's okay. The same thing applies for astrology. The same thing applies for anything. If you believe in something and you're doing it and it's not harming you and it's not harming anyone else, no problem. Do it. The issue comes when you start harming other people by guilt tripping them. Okay? That is where the controversy starts. अगर किसी को हिलाना है या नहीं हिलाना है वो उसका डिसीजन है ना. Like if we are saying that all of sexuality is a personal choice, then not masturbating is also a personal choice. ये तो बहुत ही logical है. ठीक है? And this is absolutely true. Everybody gets to make their own choice. The problem happens when you guilt trip other people that you shouldn't masturbate. You shouldn't do this. This is bad for you. That is where we say that, okay, now let's look at science. When people start telling other people on what to do and what not to do, that's where we turn towards science. And all the evidence says that masturbation, the act of masturbation in itself, is not harmful. Study after study after study has been conducted. The act of masturbation is not harmful. Okay? The act of masturbation is actually very natural. Animals में भी होता है. All human beings, let me rephrase that, 90 to 94% of men and 60 to 65% of women have masturbated at least once in their lifetime. Okay, so this was a 1960s का study. जब इंटरनेट भी नहीं था, पॉर्न भी नहीं था इतना ज़्यादा. ठीक है, so this is something that happened that long ago. अभी तो छोड़ ही दो. So this is extremely common. Everybody is exploded at some point. So the idea that masturbation is unnatural or harmful, उसको हटा देना है. Scientifically inaccurate है वो statement. Does that mean that masturbation is something that is 100% safe no matter how you do it? Now you tell me, is there anything in the world that is 100% safe no matter how you do it? एक चीज बताओ जो प्रॉब्लम नहीं कर सकता if you overdo it. Tell me anything. Something as simple as drinking water. If you drink too much water, you can have problems. Okay, so there is a psychogenic problem where somebody is drinking water after, like even when they don't need it, तुम्हारे body का sodium level गिर जाता है. You have hyponatremia. Something as safe as water, if you overdo it, it is an issue. Breathing, if you breathe in too much, you will get giddy. Everything when overdone is an issue. Yes, Shivatet said breathing. That's what you think that it is safe, but you keep hyperventilating for an hour. Don't do it. Do not do it. I'm just giving an example. But if you hyperventilate, तुम्हारे body का carbon dioxide निकल जाता है. ठीक है? And then you can get giddiness और सब कुछ बहुत problem हो जाता है. ठीक है? So nothing is safe if overdone. What is safe? Driving a car. I mean, if you learn to do it properly and you're doing it, thousands of people, millions of people are doing it. Is driving a car safe? No. What is the problems with masturbation? So first of all, we have to get rid of this black and white thinking that something is either safe or completely harmful. ऐसा नहीं है भाई. Like, are we kids? बच्चे हैं क्या हम लोग? Grow up. Everything that is naturally happening in the body should happen at a limit. Should happen in its own function. When somebody is asked, Abhishek is asked, how do we know the limit? So earlier, around 30 years ago, scientists are asking the same question. Ki, bhai, what is the limit? Is there a number? Ki, itne bar you can masturbate and iske aage problem hai. And they suggested that suppose if somebody masturbates every day for 6 months, That is a problem. This was a definition that is thrown out. Hold on. Super chat. Mohit Patel, thank you so much for the super chat. Let me read it. मेरी लाइफ पूरी तरह से खराब हो चुकी है इस वजह से. Let's get to this. Okay? Let's talk about how masturbation can hurt you. Like anything else, masturbation also has the potential of hurting you, really harming your life. Let's talk about how. When you masturbate, तुम्हारे brain में dopamine release होता है, right? Because your brain thinks it is sex. Now, there are multiple reasons as to why masturbation happens. We won't get into that right now. I've made a video on this. When you masturbate and you ejaculate, your brain has a dopamine spike. That dopamine spike is a way of your brain telling your body that whatever you did now was good for you. Anything that is associated with the dopamine spike has the potential of being addictive. Okay? Addiction हो सकता है dopamine से. जो भी चीज से आपको dopamine मिलता है, which is like eating a cake, scrolling through Instagram, talking to your girlfriend, anything can be addictive if it gives you pleasure, if you are overdoing it. Now, how do you define if something is addictive? You define an addiction if A, you are unable to stop thinking about it. B, if you don't do it, if you don't consume that addictive substance, your body starts having physical reactions. So you start feeling uncomfortable. And C, you are not able to focus on your work because of that addiction. अगर जब तक आपने कुछ नहीं किया उसके बारे में, आप फोकस नहीं कर पा रहे हो आपके काम पे, आपके फ्रेंड्स में, आपके रिलेशनशिप पे, all of these things signify that you have an addiction problem. The term for this in terms of masturbation is compulsive masturbation. मतलब आपके पास choice नहीं है, आप no नहीं कह सकते. This is an issue. ये फर्क समझना चाहिए सबको. अगर आपको लग रहा है कि आपके लाइफ में मास्टरबेशन के वजह से प्रॉब्लम्स हो रहा है, go for nofap. But the grown-up thing to do is to understand why this happened. And for that, I would suggest speaking to a counselor, speaking to a therapist, because it is like ignoring a problem, right? So if you have gone through something like this, speak to a therapist, because it's not just that you got addicted to something. Addiction is often a sign of some underlying issue. Speak to a therapist. Don't go for easy solutions. That is one. The second way that masturbation can harm you, and you might believe this or you might not, is the guilt associated with masturbation. And the term for this is ego dystonic masturbation. Sounds like a complicated word. It's actually very simple. अगर आप masturbation कर रहे हो और उससे आपको guilt हो रहा है, और वो guilt होने के बाद भी अगर आप masturbation कर रहे हो, तो आपके दिमाग में conflict पैदा होता है कि मैं हूँ कौन. एक सेकंड. Who am I and why am I doing this? Right? Are you with me so far? Now, this is an issue, because if you are guilty, if you're feeling guilt, that guilt sets off a whole other reaction in your brain. And ego dystonic masturbation has actual biological effects on your body. Ego dystonic masturbation or masturbation with guilt is what creates issues in your body. That is what creates issues in your mind. That is what creates issues in your endocrine system, your hormones. So they have done studies of masturbation with guilt and without guilt, and they have shown differences in how it affects. And this is my problem with the NoFap movement. It's not that somebody is doing something by themselves. It is the guilt associated with masturbation. Are we clear? If you're feeling guilty about something, A, don't do it. But more importantly, B, find out why. Understand why. Understanding your own brain and understanding your own body is, I believe, the purpose of life. यही है. You are born with this body and you're born with this brain. Understanding this is the crux of everything you do. And my issue with the whole guilt around masturbation is that you are taking a part of yourself and saying this is bad, this is wrong, ये मुझे नहीं करना चाहिए. Like you're rejecting a part of you. You're rejecting your own body's impulse. That is my issue. Dealing with the guilt is, according to me, one of the most important things to do. Whether you masturbate or not is almost secondary. That's not the point. So the discussion, the conversation around masturbation becomes so caught up in these, frivolous things. It's not about becoming a Superman. It's not about semen absorption. It's about your state of mind. Are you guilty about something that your body naturally feels? And how do you deal with it? Yeah. And it's a bigger conversation. It's not an easy conversation because society ने और religion ने इतना कुछ complicate करके रख दिया है ये issue को कि सोचना आसान नहीं है इस पे. All right. Asking the question, can I do it without guilt, could be helpful too, right? If yes, go ahead. If no, then no. Yeah. Everybody finds out their own relationship with their own body, right? Nobody else can tell you what relationship you should have with your own body. Nobody else can tell you what relationship you should have with your sexuality or with your sexual thoughts. Nobody else can tell you that. Nobody has the right to tell you that. Only you can do that. And the reason that you do that is because you want to be the best version of yourself. You want to be the best version of yourself, not somebody else, of yourself. And so if something is bothering you, get rid of it. If something is making you feel good, keep it. As long as you are functional and as long as you are growing, as long as you are able to focus, as long as you're able to do everything in life that you wanted to do, bro, you are the king of your life. I feel the conversation has become so twisted, so complicated, and it's almost become a power struggle, That's an issue. Post-nut clarity. All right. Since this conversation is going on, let's talk about post-nut clarity. If you've experienced it, and I'm guessing this is a safe space because, there are 80 people watching and how many of you have experienced? Who would have thought that YouTube live stream में discussion होगा? Interesting. Guilt is because of extreme hormone changes after the orgasm, right? No. It's not that. Guilt is a social construct. Guilt is because there are separate thought processes and those two thought processes can't coexist. That's why there is guilt after masturbation. Kunal Sharma is asking, hello Sid sir, I've just joined, what's happening? Kunal Sharma, answer me, have you experienced post-nut clarity? That's what's happening. Just November talks, exactly. Devesh is like, I'm experiencing one right now. Oh my god. यार बोलते Oh, dude. Don't jerk off watching to this, man. Like that is fucking weird. Devesh, wash your hands. क्या चल रहा है? I feel like हम लोग कॉलेज में ऐसा नाइट आउट कर रहे हैं सब लोग बैठ के. क्या चल रहा है? So here's my point, man. Here's my point. Do not feel guilty about something that your body is going through. All right. Do not pull yourself down or make yourself a villain in your own story. Don't do that. Don't make yourself a villain in your own story, right? Read about it, learn about it, read what studies have been done, and just like everything else, find the balance. And people asking, how do you find the balance? It's like, how do you know how much sugar to eat? So our body likes sugar, right? Does that mean that eating all the sugar you can is good for you? Absolutely not, right? And maybe you can get to a place where you don't want any sugar at all, and that's absolutely fine. But can you tell other people to not have their birthday cake, to not have anything, nothing sweet ever? It's not. Everybody has their own balance. Everybody finds things on their own. So the guilt is the problem, not the masturbation. How to continue SR post marriage? I think changing place where you live for a long time also helps. So there are so many overlapping topics to this, right? So this is about masturbation and guilt. Okay, ये एक topic हो गया, ये आप अलग से रख लो. Now there is a whole other topic of semen retention. Like, what is the benefit of that? And there are multiple papers, okay, talking about a transient testosterone rise after 3 weeks of no sexual activity. But that transient testosterone rise plateaus, वो एक लिमिट पे आ जाता है, ठीक? And there are other studies showing how the whole point of the testosterone rise is to create changes in your body that lead to sex, right? So the way that our biology is constructed is so that it leads to sex. Now this conversation is extremely complicated because there are so many different things coming into play. So I'm glad that somebody's brought up this example of Swami Vivekananda. We come across stories of people who have done semen retention and done incredible things. Are you telling me that everybody who has achieved anything great is doing semen retention? Is that seriously what you're telling me? And are you telling me that only people who have done semen retention have done incredible things? Is that what you're saying? If not, and if you take 1,000 people who have done incredible things and you ask them, and if 10 of them or 50 of them or 100 of them are doing semen retention and the others are not, what does that mean? वैसे तो आप कोई भी चीज से कर सकते हो. You could say that using Colgate is the way, as a toothbrush, not for masturbation, is the way to achieve great things because Abdul Kalam used Colgate toothpaste. And if you look at 5 other people who used Colgate toothpaste, and they've all done incredible things. That's not how statistics work. That's not how you come to understandings, right? I mean, if you look at the people who have achieved the maximum, incredible people, how many of them have done semen retention, right? So this is how you have to think. You have to kind of take a step back and understand that if somebody has found something that works for them, great. I will never say don't try it. If you want to try NoFap, try NoFap. It's your body. That is the point. If you want to take home a message, it is your body. If you want to try, try. You should be curious. क्या होगा? What would happen when you try? Aren't you curious? Why don't you try? Fine, absolutely fine. But don't try out of guilt. Don't do it out of guilt. Do it because you're curious, because you want to try something new. Absolutely fine. But it's the guilt that fucks you up. That's my point. You get it? I hope you get it. It's very important. I think there are a lot of men in our country who are going through like a lot of struggle. Maybe um, trying to understand sexuality, trying to understand their own thought processes, trying to understand what it means to be a man, what it means to be like a role model. There's a lot of stuff happening, and I also feel like the space for men to discuss stuff is so less now. Do you feel this? How many? I mean, all right, let's. Um, how many guys are watching this? How do I know? I'm guessing there are a lot of guys watching this. Do you feel that the space to discuss anything about sex is so limited for guys? Because I mean, outside of, like I said, like it feels like a college night out where सब हंसी मजाक में बहुत कुछ चीजें बोला जाता है, डिस्कस किया जाता है, बट वो लर्निंग नहीं होता, राइट? वो तो मतलब वो तो मजाक होता है, और वो मजाक में ही बहुत सारे इनसिक्योरिटीज निकलते हैं. अगर आप जाके सुनोगे जो कॉलेज नाइट आउट में, सपोज देयर आर 6 boys 7 boys सिटिंग इन अ रूम, मे बी दे आर ड्रिंकिंग, मे बी दे आर नॉट, बट इफ यू लुक एट द जोक्स, underneath the jokes there is a lot of insecurity, there's a lot of doubts कि ऐसे ही होता है क्या. I remember a friend of mine made a joke about pubic hair, okay, in school, and then later on he asked me कि, dude, is it normal? It's how would they know? How would anybody know anything? None of us are taught anything. Biology में कुछ सिखाया ही नहीं जाता. So there is so much confusion, there is so many doubts that people have, but then boys, men, we are supposed to know, we are supposed to be very confident and just like follow, get discipline. So there is a lot of circular thinking, and this is an issue. I genuinely think this is an issue. There's a reason why mental health amongst men are just crashing, because men don't have space to discuss the stuff in a sensible way. कहाँ बात करेंगे? किधर बात करेंगे? Who would you talk to? So that's the issue. I think that whoever, like right now, whoever is watching this stream and taking part in this conversation, I think we are privileged because we have access to information. हम लोग ये बात तो कर सकते हैं, we can talk to each other. But it's also part of our responsibility to make sure that the discussion around such topics remain wholesome, remain friendly, remain sensible, remain non-judgmental. So I will never tell anybody who's doing NoFap that you're doing something wrong. Never. I won't do that. That's not the point. If somebody is doing something that is working for them, and if they feel that they have achieved something because of NoFap, it's not on me to tell them wrong. Like, nahi, galat hai. Nahi, it's not my job. That's not what the whole point is. Like if I feel that if every morning I get out of one side of the bed and I believe that this is what is helping me focus, fuck you if you tell me that that's not incorrect. That's wrong. It's my belief system. And whatever works for me, works for me. Like people at the highest level of success, like Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi, everybody would have a ritual, like something that they do before the match, something that is just for them. They know that if I do this, my mindset is better. Who will tell them that tum galat kar rahe ho? So I feel NoFap is something like that. If it's an experience that you go through for yourself out of your own curiosity, but if you're doing it out of guilt, probably not the right way to do it. There are better reasons to do it. All right. I hope that this conversation was helpful. There is so much more to talk about it. I mean, I think sexuality तो मतलब खत्म ही नहीं होगा. तुम इतना बात कर सकते हो इस पे बात. There is so much to talk about. We will talk about it. Like this channel, on this channel, we will talk about this. Because I feel like neuroscience gives an equal playing field to discuss things which are difficult for other people to talk about. And we will use that. We will use this platform. जितने भी subscribers है यहाँ पे, जितना भी बड़ा platform हो, we will use our platform to talk about things which are difficult. Right? And we will talk about it in a way that doesn't make anyone feel excluded. Because I feel everybody does things for a reason. And it's up to us to understand the reason. Penaldo ritual is to pray for penalty. I haven't watched Dahmer yet. You should be under control. Neuroscience of human sexuality should be universally taught. Absolutely. Absolutely, it should be taught. Like every student, every school student should be taught about what sexuality is. Not just belief systems, but the science of sexuality. Like hota kya hai? Chromosome kya hota hai? Genetics kya hota hai? Hormones kya hota hai? All of this should be taught. Waldy's here. Okay, everybody just raise their hands for Waldy. Woo. What is No Nut November? No Nut November is an alliteration. I'm doing it so I can escape my anxiety and pressure, kind of trying to escape life, but never happens. It comes and it fucks me over. Oh, okay. Script diary. I'm so sorry to hear that. Please re-upload your series. It'll be helpful in my coming out. Manasa, I thought that it is uploaded. I'll just check again because I think I did make a few videos private just to see how it affects the algorithm, but I'll upload it again. Hypothalamus is our grandma controlling our sexuality. It is. So there are multiple levels of sexuality. There's also multiple levels of gender. Okay, and these two things have to be discussed. I've discussed the whole thing in my series, but we'll do it again. So when you say you are a man, that statement assumes several things. Okay, like traditionally, it assumes a certain thing at a chromosomal level, at a hormonal level, at an external genital level, internal genital level, and at a psychological level. That do you feel like you're a man? So maybe you have chromosome XY and you have a penis and testes and you have testosterone, but then psychologically you might feel that you are a woman. So at different levels, gender is defined. And the reason that we weren't taught about this is because यार पता नहीं था लोगों को, ठीक है, और बाहर से जो दिखता है हम लोग उसी के बारे में बात करते हैं. So it's just like saying earth goes around the sun versus sun goes around the earth. I mean पहले ऐसा लग रहा था ना, बाहर से जो दिखेगा वही बोलेंगे. तो पहले लोगों को लगता था कि sun goes around the earth क्योंकि वही तो दिख रहा है, obviously. But until you zoom out and get a fresh perspective, you won't even realize that the earth goes around the sun. Similarly, until you knew about chromosomes and genetics and hormones and all of this, how would you know the difference between man and woman? How would you even think about it? But now we know. So now we should be taught. All of us should be taught about gender. Because so many people are going through this conflict. Somebody in the chat just said, I'm a trans girl. So many people are going through this conflict. और पता ही नहीं चलता ना लोगों को. कोई बताता ही नहीं है तो कैसे पता चलेगा? None of us are born with this knowledge. right? And so we grow up listening to our parents and our grandparents, and because they have been taught all that. Nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault. It's just that we didn't know. And that's why it's important to know. That's why knowledge is important. Knowledge given in a non-threatening way. So that's another thing. हम लोग जब knowledge share करते हैं तो ऐसा signaling नहीं होना चाहिए. It's not about moral superiority. It's not like कि देखो मुझे पता है तुझे नहीं पता. ठीक है? और because तुझे नहीं पता तो you are a, you know, you can just fuck off. ऐसा नहीं है. अगर किसी को नहीं पता है तो उनको बताना और प्यार से बताना जरूरी है. और वो सिर्फ वो बता पाएगा जिसमें ट्रस्ट है उनको. So that equation is very important. So Twitter is the worst place, right? Because Twitter, everybody is signaling. You're woke, I'm not, whatever, cancel. सब कुछ वही हो रहा है. You are a bigot, you are a racist, you are a sexist. यही चालू रहता है because everybody wants to signal. Everybody wants to show that they are better than the other person. So it's like if suppose your teacher did that, okay? You are teaching geometry and you are saying Pythagoras theorem and बच्चा पूछ रहा है Pythagoras कौन था? And the teacher is like, you are so stupid. तुझे Pythagoras नहीं पता, मुझे Pythagoras पता है. You can go to hell. तू classroom में मत बैठ. अरे क्या मतलब है इसका? And that's how the conversation around gender is happening, I feel. Because people don't know and they are not being taught properly. Because if you're taught properly, you understand. It's not that complicated. You understand. Ki, Acha, okay, this is what being a trans means. You know, this is what being, this is what a gender means. This is, you know, so on and so forth. Everything has an explanation. But वो बताया नहीं है, तो कैसे करें? It's really fuck all. It's absolutely fuck all. Had a teacher like that, damn. Dysphoria is so horrible. I shall never wish that on anybody. Abhishek is asking, what is dysphoria? So, dysphoria in the context of gender dysphoria is when you don't identify with the gender that you are assigned at birth. So, you are born and suppose everybody agrees that you are a boy, for example. But in your mind, as you grow up, so शुरुआत में तो the brain isn't developed, so the brain is developing slowly. But as you grow up, you realize that everybody's treating you like a boy, but you don't feel like a boy. You feel like maybe a girl. That is gender dysphoria. तो आप सोचो कितना conflict होता होगा. You know, and by the way, this is a triggering topic, I know, and if somebody is watching this and if you're going through this, I apologize for if I didn't give you a trigger warning before, but this is a triggering topic. I understand that. So वो एक conflict होता है. There is a conflict between what people are seeing and people are referring to you and what you feel inside. And this conflict can be quite difficult. And that can be anxiety inducing. Because आपका एक identity crisis हो जाता है. क्योंकि आप सब लोग आपको एक तरफ देख रहे हो और आपको लग रहा है कि you are somebody else. That is dysphoria. And that very often needs therapy, and then there is a whole branch of medicine to deal with that. Saurav Saha saying, what are your thoughts on LGBTQIA? So here we are talking about, so there is a difference between gender and sexuality. Okay, so gender is who do you identify as. So the whole male to female spectrum has multiple how do you call it? There are multiple variables in that spectrum. So who do you identify as is your gender, and who are you attracted to? That is sexuality. That is a difference. So gender is who you are. Sexuality is who are you attracted to. So if you're not attracted to anybody, you're asexual. Or if you're attracted to any person on that gender spectrum, then you are that sexual. You got it? So there are multiple problems here, because it doesn't, it's a biological conversation, right? Because we are talking about biology, chromosomes, hormones, internal sex organ, external sex organ, psychology, which is also like neuroscience in the brain. At some level, हम लोग biology की बात कर रहे हैं. We are also talking about linguistics. अभी ये बात करने के लिए हमको words चाहिए. And words तब बनते हैं जब उसकी जरूरत हो. ठीक है? तो अभी तक हमारे पास प्राइवेट स्पेसशिप का पार्किंग स्पॉट को क्या बोलते हैं इसके लिए वर्ड नहीं है. यू एग्री? प्राइवेट स्पेसशिप को पार्क कहाँ करना है, वो स्पॉट को क्या बोलते हैं उसके लिए वर्ड नहीं है, क्योंकि अभी तक उसकी जरूरत नहीं पड़ी है. किसी के पास प्राइवेट स्पेसशिप है ही नहीं, तो पार्क क्या करें. बट जब वो जरूरत आए तो वर्ड आ जाएगा, राइट? So similarly, I feel that the gender conversation is being stuck because of A, our understanding about biology, and B, language has to catch up. And language will catch up when we understand biology. But we cannot understand biology properly because we don't have the words to describe certain things. And because we can't describe them, other people don't understand them. So it is a cyclical problem. Our understanding and language kind of depend on each other. And because we are not allowed to have this conversation very freely, because we can't say any wrong word, it is such a problem because it is counterintuitive. If you can't say the wrong words, we can't come up with the right words, because the conversation to find the right words involves saying the wrong words. So I feel this is where the woke part of the argument kind of is counterintuitive, like it is counterproductive. Sorry, the woke part of the argument is counterproductive, because if you can't have conversations, then you can't reach solutions. And I feel like shifting the conversation a little bit more towards conservative side to have the conversations, and then again going towards liberalism might be the way forward. This is what I instinctively feel. Because this whole can't say this word, can't say that word is an issue, right? Because we have to allow space and time for people to come to terms with new words, new patterns, new ways of thinking. And if somebody doesn't get it, immediately labeling them as a villain, even if they are, trying to understand, or even if they're trying to defend their way of thinking, that is an issue. So I feel like inevitable hai ki that whole woke side of the conversation will shift back towards the center, क्योंकि लोगों को पता करना है, like they want to understand, but if you can't talk about it, then you can't understand. तो ये होने वाला है, I feel 100% sure. I would have an honest conversation with J.K. Rowling and Joe Rogan about gender and sexuality. I feel they are genuinely misinformed and not horrible people who hate trans folks. There is some truth in that. There is some truth in that, but I also feel that, okay, so here's the thing. If you are somebody very influential, okay, and you have a huge audience, I feel you have a greater responsibility than other people to be more empathetic than other people. And I feel that is where J.K. Rowling especially has made a mistake. Because I get what she's saying, that she feels that the fight for women's rights, she feels that the fight for women's rights are being sidelined. That is her opinion, because of the LGBTQ conversation. But She should have found a more empathetic way of saying this without hurting the sentiments of the trans community. That's where I feel she has fucked up. Because somebody with that much influence, you can't even know the impact of your words. That's the problem. It's not just हम लोग डाइनिंग रूम में कॉन्वर्जेशन कर रहे हैं, एक्सप्लेन कर रहे हैं. That's the problem, right? So if you have that much influence, then you need to be that much more careful with the words that you use. So when you hear J.K. Rowling talk and put her opinion forward, some of it, like, you also empathize, right? Like, every man, woman, every trans person, everyone from every gender can read it and understand her point of view. Like, theek hai, I get it. But can she get the other side's point of view? वहां पे थोड़ा fuck up हो गया है. Aditya Tiwari, hello sir, big fan of yours. Currently a NEET aspirant, aspiring to become a neurologist like you. Thank you, Aditya. All the best to you, buddy. It's ironic that Rowling doesn't know the power of her words. I know, absolutely, that's crazy. That's why Andrew Tate got banned. Like, no, I mean, Andrew Tate got banned because of a lot of other things, okay? It's not just this. Andrew Tate has been, like, doing some crazy, crazy shit. This guy is getting famous these days. Which guy? Are you talking about me? Oh, interesting. How to reduce dopamine addiction? I empathize with her as she had gone through assault like me. Okay, I mean, you don't need somebody to go through assault to empathize, but yeah. What's your take on straight androsexual female? What's your take? No take. Isn't it an issue that testosterone levels of men are decreasing per year? All right. Is it an issue? Time will tell. Can we do something about it? Yes. So there are certain things that all of us can do to improve our own health, right? And that is, what reduces testosterone? Lack of exercise, unhealthy eating, lack of good sleep, excessive stress. All of these things have a direct negative effect on testosterone. If you can watch random videos telling you crazy shit that you can do to raise testosterone, then you can definitely follow a very healthy lifestyle that allows you to naturally become stronger, fitter, clear-headed. Wake up early, go for a swim, go for a run, go and lift weights thrice a week. Meditate and sleep early. Drink 3 liters or 2.5 liters of water. And don't eat junk food. If you do this much, even if you masturbate, you're going to be fine. You're going to be healthy, right? That is another issue with the NoFap thing, because they recommend a bunch of great things that you should do, but package it all by saying that all this will only work if you don't masturbate, which is not true. Masturbation is not the villain. Guilt around masturbation is the villain. Addiction to masturbation is the villain. And you need to know that. Junk food is such a guilt trap. Absolutely. All right. We have 10 more minutes. Of conversation left. Thank you to everybody who joined in. I really appreciate it. And okay, for the last few weeks, I've been putting out videos every Sunday. If you didn't know that, please go check it out. Every Sunday, there'll be a new video uploaded on my channel. I have a list of interesting topics that I wanted to put out there. The last week was on this topic on masturbation. Go check it out. This week will be a very different topic. It will be on the stock market and something about neuroscience, how neuroscience affects the stock market, and how you can use your knowledge of neuroscience to understand the stock market better. You're looking cute. Love you as a human being. Thank you, Snowflake. I appreciate it. Please upload your series on gender and sexuality. I will, Manasa. I'll look into it. I'll see why it's not there on the list. Um, your opinions on milk. Should it be consumed for healthy lifestyle or not? So, so I'm a little biased. I've, I mean, I'm from Kerala, and in my childhood, we used to have milk pretty much every day. Um, what I what I fundamentally believe is that you don't need to have milk after childhood. So this is something that I believe in. Like when you're a kid, you can you will have milk, of course, and it's great for when you're growing. But after that, not really necessary. You don't need it. Suppose if you have a cup of chai or a cup of coffee and it has milk in it, also not like the worst thing unless you have lactose intolerance. Not the worst thing. It's fine. Everything else is the problem. So sometimes we focus on the really small things, and we are eating a packet of Lays, like if you're eating a packet of chips here and we're thinking, yaar, wo glass doodh nahi peena chahiye tha. Bhai, chill. Okay. Like solve the big problems first. And when the big problems are solved and you are dealing with those small issues, then talk about it. Mallu said, yes. Can depression cause ED? Yes, it can. MBBS not worth it if you want to. Wait, what? Is MBBS abroad really worth it? No, not really. I mean, if you're doing MBBS abroad, the chance of you coming back to India are not much. But if you're not planning to come back to India and you're planning to continue your career abroad, then absolutely go for it. Dharmendra, hello, bhaiya. I'm preparing for competitive exams, but I feel very nervous and my hand trembles. What should I do? Anxiety around exams is very, very common, because an exam is a situation that you cannot control. Anything that you cannot control gives you anxiety. When you go to an exam, you feel that कुछ भी हो सकता है, question paper में कुछ भी आ सकता है, and that loss of control gives you anxiety, and anxiety can cause tremors. The way out is to understand that you're not supposed to control an exam. You're not meant to control an exam, right? You're not meant to guess कौन सा क्वेश्चन आएगा. द प्रॉब्लम इज दैट हम लोग सब लोग ऐसे मेंटालिटी में जाते हैं कि कौन सा क्वेश्चन आएगा, कौन सा क्वेश्चन आएगा. यू नो, वी आर ट्राइंग टू फिक्सेट ऑन दैट, कौन सा क्वेश्चन आएगा. सो इट्स लाइक अ गैम्बल. We go into an exam hall like you're gambling, like you're going all in, like you're playing roulette, and chalo 8 of spades में सब कुछ डाल देते हैं. Yeah, sorry, roulette में 8 of spades नहीं होता, but you know, like 15 red. Sorry, I forgot how you bet in roulette for a second. 15 red pe I don't know how many of you have played roulette, by the way, but okay, suppose you bet all your money on one thing, and you we get the point. Thanks, Danish. I needed somebody to stop me. But you know, that's not the way to go to an exam. You're not meant to predict. Okay? Prediction is not the point. The point, yes, I'm understanding. I'm sorry. I just caught up. The point is, if you know enough about the topic, भाई तो लिख देगा. And you need to develop that confidence कि question आने देना, मैं लिख दूंगा. So the whole point of studying, reading, is to get enough knowledge, like understanding, कि जब question आएगा तो आप लिख दोगे. लिख देंगे, कुछ तो लिख देंगे ना. That's what we tell each other. लिख दिया ना, कुछ तो लिखा ना. And most often you will find that जो कुछ तो लिखा है वो काफी अच्छा लिखा है. So just because you haven't memorized and by-hearted an answer doesn't mean you don't know the answer. So you need to develop the confidence कि कर देंगे, हो जाएगा, लिख देंगे, कुछ तो लिख देंगे. ठीक है, वो एक बार आ गया तो लाइफ सॉर्ट है. कॉन्फिडेंस से पेपर खाली छोड़ के फिर नहीं. This is also how Sid operates his YouTube channel. Oh, damn, that's true. Doctors are unemployed? नहीं यार, ऐसे मत बोल. Thank you भैया. No worries, Dharmendra. All the best. All right, 5 minutes more. मैं बहुत ही nerdy लड़की हूँ, okay? Here after 9 months of GAD, oh damn, Daksh, I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know why I feel like addiction towards my meds. Daksh, this is something you should talk about with your psychologist, with your psychiatrist, and I hope it gets better. Monish is saying, I feel back pain when I fab. Why does it happen? I feel direct correlation. Oh, so if you're having pain, then you should definitely get it checked out, okay? Because sometimes it's a kidney problem. Or there is some issue. Sometimes it's a renal stone, sometimes it's a ureteric stone. So definitely get it checked out. If you're having pain while masturbation, please get it checked out. Visit a urologist. A urologist, you, not neurologist. ठीक है? Neurologist के पास मत आओ. Life में 5-6 बार ऐसा हुआ है कि somebody had a problem with their sexual parts, and they came to me, and it turned out that they wanted a urologist. So visit a urologist, a U. Okay. Pomodoro technique, and Daniel is asking best songs for studying. A list. Also, what's the 20 minutes concentration thing? That's the Pomodoro technique. Waldy is very correct. And best songs for studying, I have always listened to instrumental, right? Sometimes when I'm in the mood, I listen to rap songs that I don't know. So just rap songs going on in the background. ऐसा कोई playlist 1980s 1990s rap songs, and I just let it go on in the background. ठीक है, क्योंकि I like the rhythm, I like the beats, तो मुझे वो पसंद आता है. Or you can listen to instrumentals, you can listen to lo-fi, something like that just goes on in the background, just to occupy those attention receptors, so to speak, just to keep yourself occupied so that you can now focus. So you're not listening to anything else. So the whole point of listening to music is that sudden unexpected sounds distract you. Get it? तो अगर अचानक से बेल बज गया, या बाहर से कोई बोलने लगा, या बाहर कोई गाड़ी आ गई, तो sudden changes in the environment take your attention away. A constant sound doesn't. So when you listen to music, that constant sound is occupying the background. तो पूरा background में वो constant music है, तो बाहर से कोई external sound आके तुम्हें distract नहीं करेगा. So now that your brain is used to that constant sound, it will ignore it. And now you can focus on your studies. That is the point of listening to music. All right. Okay. White noise works. Absolutely. Yes. White noise is great. All right, guys. It's been 1 hour. Thank you so much for joining in. Amazing time. हमने काफी कुछ बात की है which we haven't really talked about on the channel before. This live stream will be public. Don't worry. We won't make it private. And I will see you soon. Next Wednesday is an extremely interesting podcast. It's a pre-recorded podcast. We will be releasing. If you can guess who, drop it down in the comments. Don't type it in the chat. Drop it down in the comments. Guess who I'm calling. I'll give you a hint. Someone to do with finance. Okay. So whoever guesses it will get a special shout out. All right. Like the stream. Make it like 100, 110 likes. And I will see you soon. Bye everyone. Take care. Cheers. Enjoy the rest of November.